Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for your support. 9,000 subscribers, what a milestone. Not too far away from the big 10,000 subscribers. Really appreciate your support, your long-time support. And also, if you've only just subscribed, really appreciate you giving this channel a chance. So let's dive into the video. Just wanted to start off this video with this nice little milestone. And also let you guys know that I recently joined the crypto conversation to just talk about a few interesting things, whether that's the crypto market cycle, altcoins worth watching, altcoin correlations, also about the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, Bitcoin bull market corrections, and so much more. Feel free to check out the link in the description down below to tune into the podcast. I had a blast on the Brave New Coin Crypto Conversation podcast. But let's dive into today's video update. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, feel free to subscribe so that we get closer to reaching 10,000 subscribers. But today's video is going to be about Bitcoin's price action, and essentially I'm going to share with you what I'm going to be watching for at this time, because the most important thing really is to focus on this higher low. It's fantastic to see that this higher low is a graphic representation of investor sentiment, essentially showcasing to us that investors are happy to buy the dip at a premium, at a higher price than before. And the aggression in this dip buying is evidenced in the downward wicks, in this downside volatility, which is of course much larger this time around. So people are really happy to be aggressive in buying that dip at a premium, springboarding price towards higher levels. So we're seeing a higher low right over here after a minus 26% retrace. Right over here back in January of 2021, last month, roughly speaking, we also saw a higher low. Of course, this degree angle was much sharper than the higher low that we're seeing over here. So this one's definitely more nuanced, but the sentiment remains the same. Investors are happy to buy on the dip right over here at a premium each time, and the same is going on right over here, even though this is more of a nuanced situation to this one. But this higher low was very important in reaching new highs of $58,000. So really important, very positive that we're seeing this sort of higher low. And the thing to talk about is that we are now in a 10-day retrace, and the average bull market correction is 16 days. So let's give some time for Bitcoin to just work its way through, figure itself out on this pullback. Let's give it at the very least, the historical average of 16 days to just resolve itself on this pullback, because now we're seeing a relief rally. And if we compare this pulling back period to this pulling back period, we saw this correction period of minus 31% last about 2 weeks or so. So it's only been 10 days right now. So let's see how things continue to develop, and let's be patient. Let's give it some time. But the thing to bear in mind here is that right over here we had a relief rally just to set in a lower high relative to this high, right? So this is a lower high period, and it's very important to just watch out for something similar this time round, which is what I'm essentially showcasing in this diagonal resistance that would essentially be the lower high resistance that would reject price on the relief rally that we're currently seeing. This recovery is technically a relief rally, and it's really important to just try and understand where could this relief rally top out. And I'm not entirely set on this diagonal being the real deal, the final version, because we only have one data point really to work with, and the degree angle could very easily just change. So this is just a prospective trend line based on very little information. We could see this lower high be like this, or even more slanting. But let's just see how things pan out. But in any case, this is really looking like a bull flag at this time. So even though this relief rally might be still in the works, we're still in the process of this relief rally, it's really important to see how this lower high is going to structure this current market structure. Are we going to see a more slanting diagonal lower high resistance? Are we going to see a more nuanced one, just like we saw with the nuanced buying in the higher low? Let's just see how this market structure turns out. But it's really interesting to see that we could very well possibly have Bitcoin form yet another bull flag in this bull market, which is quite interesting, because if this indeed becomes a bull flag, then of course these calls for a bear market in this minus 26% retrace will of course go away. But you'll just notice how these retraces are actually part of building a bullish market structure. So that's something I'm going to be watching out for. Bear in mind the lower high, of course. We have to bear that in mind. And also, this isn't necessarily set in stone, this higher low, because of course we saw a higher low right over here, right? We saw a higher low here, here, and here, and we actually broke down from it into a deeper retrace. That's also going to be a possibility. We can't discount these possibilities at this very early stage. What I'm essentially doing is building a market structure based on very limited information that we have at this time. We might look back in a few days in hindsight and say that, well, this was a bit optimistic, or we might look back and say this was actually quite appropriate given the limited information that we had at the time, and price has verified that, yes, in some way we are in this market structure. We might be seeing a bull flag in the works. So let's just see how things continue. Let's see how this higher low continues to hold, and let's see where the lower high resistance will actually reject price from, because at the moment we are at a key support region right over here. So this is the $50,000 psychological level where we saw resistance over here, and then we broke past that resistance. Over here, when we pulled back, this resistance, of course, rejected price to make the second low in this higher low. And now we just recently tested this resistance as a support. So now we could even pull back into 50,000, the 50,000 area, and then move back up higher, because at the moment, this is the support. But this area is right now the resistance, $52,000 resisting price. So you can see how we consolidated a bit here before going towards the upside, and how we actually rejected from here. So this was a support. This was turned into a resistance on the way down. And then we're now at this resistance once again. So if we pull back into the $50,000 region and then test this area once again, it could be a good chance to break this $52,000 region and then rally towards the upside really, and actually really challenge for that lower high diagonal, just to showcase, just to find out where that rejection will lie, whether that's here, whether that's here, whether that's actually picture perfect right over here. That remains to be seen, but essentially speaking, we're sandwiched in Bitcoin's price action. We could be forming a bull flag, but in the meantime, we're just sandwiched between this $52,000 region and this $50,000 region. That's essentially what's going on. We're sandwiched between these two regions, and we just need to see that trigger, whether we're actually going to break down from 50,000 and revisit the higher low once again, or whether we're actually going to break past 52,000 and actually try to search and find out where the lower high diagonal resistance will reside. And having said that, guys, thank you so much for watching today. That's about it for today's video update. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and like the video if you enjoyed this one and want to see more videos like this in the future. I'm Rekt Capital, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.